Welcome, movie fans all over the galaxy. I am your boy, Mikey Savage 21, and I am back from vacation, and I am so happy to be reviewing the 2017 film directed by Christopher Nolan, Dunkirk. And it stars Fionn Whitehead, Tom Glenn Carney, Jack Landau, Harry Styles, Aneurin Bernard, James D'Arcy, Barry Keoghan, Kenneth Branagh, Cillian Murphy, Mark Rylance, and Tom Hardy. And the movie is set during the Second World War, and it's told from three perspectives: the land, the sea, and the air. And more specifically, getting into the entire film. In May 1940, Germany advanced into France, trapping the Allied troops on the beaches of Dunkirk. Under air and ground cover from the British and French forces, troops were slowly evacuated from the beach using every serviceable naval and civil vessel that could be found. And at the end of this heroic mission, 330,000 French, British, and Belgian and Dutch soldiers were safely evacuated. Alright, so basically summarizing this movie up, I really did like it. I enjoyed the film Dunkirk. I could see where a lot of people might not enjoy this film because it's not dialogue heavy. It really isn't. I mean, there's dialogue going on here and there, but the characters more so talk with their body language and their eyes. And so I think when a lot of people went into this movie, they expected to be like some of the other war films that we've gotten, where there's lots of dialogue going on. And while this is a war drama in itself, there isn't that much talking, and that's fine. I mean, I thought what Christopher Nolan was able to do was he was able to not only beautifully craft this movie, but he was able to get the best performance out of everybody. Now, of course, all the stars that I listed off, all of them had very key moments. They were very important. But for the sake of this review, and so it won't go on for hours on end, I'm just gonna talk about all of them in general together, starting from the land. Basically, from what we are told on the land, you have Harry Styles, Fionn Whitehead, and a couple of other characters who are on the land, and they're basically trapped there because, again, they're suspended on the beach and everything. And so they're trying to get onto the different boats so they can get off of there because they've been there for a long time. Then you had a perspective of the sea where you have the sailors and the soldiers who have been on the sea for months on end, and they're constantly being bombarded with airstrikes. And then, of course, we have the air perspective, which has Cillian Murphy, Tom Hardy in the forefront as the pilot. And we're seeing what they're ultimately having to go through with having to budget their gas, their fuel, I should say, and how they're able to actually help the land and the sea in this crucial time of the war. Now, again, getting back to the performances, I thought everybody put on a spot-on performance. I thought everybody did well. Even the extra that everybody was probably going in thinking and looking for, even I don't think he did a bad job. I don't even know the guy's name, but hey, you know what? It's cool. One of the other things that I really want to talk about here and just kind of give Christopher Nolan his credit where credit is due is, again, I mentioned at the beginning of this review how it's told from three perspectives, and I like how the three perspectives were told at different points in time. Like, one was set at 1 hour, then one was set at like a day, one was set at like a week and everything, and how everything just basically ended up tying into everything. And so when it came towards the end of the film, they synced up very nicely, and I thought we had a very nice closure to this film. Now, again, those times are probably off because I'm trying to remember those from the top of my head, but if somebody wants to post those in the comment section below, the actual hours of which each one is told, that would be much appreciated. Again, I'm talking about the different perspective characters. Again, I felt like everybody brought something to the table. Again, Harry Styles was an enigma going into this because I wasn't exactly sure how to take him. I didn't know exactly if I was gonna like him or not, and I honestly have to say that Harry Styles did a fantastic job. Another person I think did another great job was Fionn Whitehead, who is basically the character that we stick with the most for both the land and the sea portion of it. And again, Tom Hardy being part of the airstrike, it was great to see him in this movie as well. In terms of negatives, the only negatives I would have is because this film is not dialogue heavy, it tends to lose a lot of people. One of the reasons that I didn't get lost in the movie is because, one, I love war films like this, but two, I also found ways to make it fun for myself. I had the entire IMAX theater to myself, so I could get up and stretch whenever I needed to stretch. I could laugh, you know, when I needed to laugh, or I could just kind of have conversations with the screen back and forth. And no, guys, I'm not crazy, but I was able to really enjoy myself. And I think if you're watching this in like a terms of a press sitting or a packed out theater, it might get a little bit boring. And so because of that, that's just one of the little small negatives that I will have to throw into this film. Other than that, I felt like some of the character motivations weren't exactly explained or interpreted that well well on film. Like, there's a moment between Harry Styles and Fionn Whitehead and one other unmentioned actor where everything was coming to a head and toward the climax and everything, and I was like, well, where is this aggression coming from all of a sudden? Because I guess the actor didn't talk much. Harry Styles was like accusing him of this and this, and I was like, well, no one has really been talking, so does that really justify him being singled out? But other than that, I thought the film was great. I thought it was really fantastic, and again, if you can get past those little two negatives, more so the first one with it not being dialogue heavy, I think that you will really enjoy this film. In terms of a score, I am gonna go with a 9.5 out of a 10. Again, I thought it was a solid movie. I'm just taking off ever so slightly for those two negatives that I mentioned. And in terms of how many cups I'm gonna give this, I'm actually gonna give this 5 cups. Hashtag how many cups. And there, and again, like I said in my last video, make sure you send a direct message to @movie_Java. And basically what they do is they turn film fans like you and I into professional critics, and we are able to get our opinions validated and retweeted and shared out to the multitude of people that follow them. Thank you for checking out this video. Again, if you like the video and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be doing a lot of these. Got reviews coming up for Atomic Blonde, for Valerian, and hopefully for Girls Trip as well. Thank you as always for tuning in, and as I always say, remember to become a savage, stay a savage, and peace out, y'all.